welcome back to Alice Talks Football, and welcome back to another Manchester United 10-minute roundup, where we round up all the latest Manchester United news in 10 minutes for you guys. And look, the last few weeks have been painful, and we've got absolutely zero updates on Brian Mbeumo. We did get some positive updates coming out on Sancho last night and this morning, but those positive updates haven't seemed to last long. And when we're hearing more and more about the wages Sancho's rejecting, it's giving red flag energy. Can we pay Sancho the leave, or have Juventus just been put off with his wage demands and see it as a red flag and now going potentially elsewhere? One area that Manchester United do operate in really well is the academy, and we keep signing loads of really good 15, 16-year-olds, which is great to see. And some people say, Alice, why are you talking about the academy? Why are you talking about the academy? Well, there's really not much to talk about with the first team, and the academy is the only thing we do well. And when there's no first team news, and the academy is so important to United, and the only thing good going on is in the academy, the only thing going on is in the academy, I'm going to talk about the academy. And United are looking at two elite level young midfielders to come and join. Really good pools could be coming in there, on top of other businesses we've done for the academy in terms of Enzo Cannavino. We've signed the young centre-back from Southampton. We're doing a lot of good academy work, and it seems the only business Man United seem to be doing is not bidding for Mbeumo and buying a load of 15-year-olds. But we will talk about that, because we'll talk about the development, the pathway, the plan. And we do have some money coming in. And 13.6 million has been raised, technically 18.6 million. Amorim is making some changes to his plans. Rashford to Barcelona, there's been some positive news on that. But are Barcelona going to pay up? Are they going to try and do a loan? We know that Betis want Antony, but they're not paying up. We now know Barcelona want Rashford. Will they pay up? Who knows? So yeah, we're going to talk about all the latest news, round it up in 10 minutes. Just give me an Mbeumo, here we go. I want to wake up to Mbeumo, here we go. I just can't be bothered with this Mbeumo deal dragging out and out and out. But let's start by talking about Sancho, because there were some positive developments coming out from Italy this morning. But as I said in my video this morning, until Romano Ornstein gives us something positive, I would take Italian sources with a pinch of salt. And interestingly, Ben Jacobs said this. He said that Chelsea went to Sancho and said they were prepared to match their salary contribution they made on the loan deal to sign it, which was around 180 to 200 grand a week. Sancho rejected. We're talking about Sancho rejecting 200 grand a week. I get if you're on 250 grand a week at Manchester United, okay, you probably are going to reject maybe 150 grand a week. That's a 100k paycheck. But at 200 grand a week he rejected. Bear in mind, Moises Caicedo's on 150k a week. Cole Palmer's on 120k a week. But Sancho wanted more than that at Chelsea. Like, that, for me, is just crazy in itself. He currently earns 250k a week at United, but he has to take a 25% cut anyway. So, surely he's only going to be earning a little bit more at Man United. This is what I don't get. Juventus are proposing 150k a week. And Sancho has this problem, because Sancho rejected Chelsea, who were willing to go up to potentially 200k a week, and everyone else is offering 150k a week. And the thing is, he could run down his contract and have another 250k a week for a couple of weeks. Let's say if it's 250k a week, I don't know what it is with the Champions League cuts. But then when he joins a new club, he might get a signing on bonus, but he might join a new club and might not be offered more than 150k a week when he's turned down 200k a week at Chelsea. And I get that it's Man United's fault for offering Sancho 250k a week. Offering 250k a week. I think that's what he's on. 250k or 300k a week. It might be 300k a week minus 25% because of the... I think it's 300k a week, but he's on 225k a week because we're not in the Champions League. I think that's what it is. I think we gave him 300k. He's now on 225k because we're not in the Champions League, which means it's a 25k wage cut. That's what it is. But the problem is, I don't think that any club in Europe, and he wants to stay in Europe, is going to give him more money. So it's about the money. Go to Saudi, go to Fenerbahce. You had Fenerbahce in for you, you had Saudi in for you, you told them no. Napoli have got peed off with your wage demands. Chelsea got peed off with your wage demands. Juventus have got peed off with your wage demands. Every club is seeing Sancho as a big red flag because of his ridiculous wage demands. He's had 2 seasons in a row at Man United where he's gone out on loan because he cares about the money. I'm just fed up with this Sancho situation. Like, yes, it's our fault. We shouldn't have offered him. I think we offered him 300k a week, so with the 25% cut, he's on 225k a week. I think that's what he's on. And yeah, he has to take a 25k a week wage cut. But when you forced 2 loan moves out of United, when you kept coming out saying, all I want to do is play football, freedom, and then all you have to do is take a bit of a wage cut and you can finally get out Man United after this talk of freedom and saying that you just want to play football, and that's why you wouldn't have, that's why you upset with Ten Hag, and then you wouldn't apologise to Ten Hag for 4 months, so you'd rather leave than play football for 4 months. It's just ridiculous. I'm so fed up with Jadon Sancho. I don't think, as a player, that's wound me up more. Because it's like, all you had to do is apologise to Tenor, but you couldn't do that because of your ego. So you literally just sat out for 4 months and forced to move. After Tenor gave you a 4-month break a few months earlier for personal reasons. So you had a 4-month break in your second season. You refused to basically play in your third season. In your fourth season, you're forced to load. In your fifth season, you're finally getting what you want, freedom, getting out of Man United. And you're saying no. Are you literally just going to run down your contract just for a bit of extra money when Anthony and Rashford are willing to take a wage cut because they want to play in the World Cup next year? It just shows you attitude, giving young players too much money, ego. It's damaging. I like, if he turned on 150k a week, I'd see it more. But if he's been getting 200k a week offered to him, he's not going to earn that anywhere else. I just feel like whoever's advising Sancho is silly. I know I've just spent 5 minutes ranting about Sancho, but the more and more you find out about the situation and the fact that he wants money to leave Man United and everything, it's just a red flag. For a young lad who was one of the brightest talents ever, to make it so obvious he only cares about the money, I just think is concerning. That's all. Anyway, let's talk about some more positive news. Manchester United are current frontrunners in the race for England under-17s captain and Fulham midfielder Seth Ridgen. United have strong interest, as said by Academy Scoop, with many top Premier League teams in the race. Club scouts have been following him for a while now. So Academy Scoop and Sully had come out and said that United are in the race for England under-17s captain, so one of the highest rated players in football. You know, if you're an England under-17s captain, you're a very good player. And Fulham midfielder Seth Ridgen, very good young midfielder. But Laurie Whitwell came out with some even more interesting updates, saying that we're in talks to sign two 16-year-old midfielders, regarded as the finest in the country. Seth Ridgen is an England under-17s captain, and Tyrese, and I'm sorry if I pronounced this wrong, Nobisi, who is set to depart Man United, is also set to depart Man City, is considering offers from United. So the Fulham midfielder is like the highest rated academy footballer in England. That's an under-17 because he's the captain of the English squad. He's very highly rated. But Manchester City also have another very, very highly rated midfielder, which is very exciting because one thing we're good at is getting good talents when they're 15, 16 years of age and making a bit of money of them in the future. Now, I think Ineos like buying these young talents to think that they could sell them on in the future. But one thing we've got well is our academy. It's a shame that we sold Alvaro, but we brought Alvaro in as a 15-year-old. We brought Garnacho in as a 15-year-old. There's Toby Collier we brought in as a 16-year-old. Harry Amas we brought in as a 16-year-old. Like, this is an area of Man United they've got really right, and I'm really glad that we're looking to sign these players. This could be two great midfield signings. I think it would be fantastic business, these two good midfield signings. But I feel like we can't be as happy about this because our main priority is, of course, the first team, and we want to provide a stable environment. So in 2-3 years' time, when these guys could be getting their debuts, they're in a stable environment where all of a sudden we're not reliant on them and it doesn't become toxic. I feel like we've got too reliant on Maino and Garnacho, for example. But until we sort out the first team, we can't provide the environment for these guys to flourish. But look, we're looking to sign two really good midfielders. I remember a couple of seasons ago, we signed Amas and Collier. We signed Cheeto last year. The recruitment in that side of the club is really good. I just wish that we could operate like this with the first team and bring in some good players for the first team. But as Academy Scoop said, they are some of the highest rated talents out there, viewed as very exciting talents. Both been given tours around Carrington in an effort to try and get them at United. So at least we have some positive news, some positive stories coming out. I guess in terms of other positive news, James Ducker said we should make around 13.6 million from sell-on fees for Elanga and Alvaro. We should get about 7.6 million profit on Alvaro and about 6 million Elanga, which is 13.6 million pure profit, which, as I said, if we brought a player and we played their fee over 4 years, that could technically allow Manchester United to be spending about 53, 54 million pounds because of the pure profit if it allows a lot of funds. Obviously, you've got to take wages into account. So, that can help get the Mbumo deal over the line. We also made 5 million from Chelsea sending back Sancho, which we might have to use to pay Sancho to leave. But at least we got a bit more. I thought it was about 12 million. We're now getting told it's 13.6, so at least a little bit of money's come in. But it'd be nice if we could sell our own players. And before I dive into other stories and other reports coming out, what is going on with the first team? How is Amorim? Is Amorim annoyed? Is he? Who knows? I think he's probably not happy. But this interesting report came out, which is probably the most interesting story we've had in a good week about Manchester United, to be honest, because we've just had nothing news for about a week. But apparently every United player, including first team and selected youth who could make their debut next season, received a personalised conditioning programme over the break. Amorim and the staff remain focused on injury prevention to ensure players return sharp and ready to perform. Injury prevention is a big thing, but another big thing for Manchester United, I think, is fitness. And I think one thing Amorim noticed about Man United was the physical levels were quite low. And I think Amorim is really hoping to improve the fitness of the Manchester United squad going into next season, because I think physically we're off it. And I think that's why, again, he wants Premier League proven players that suit the physical demands. In terms of final stories, more updates coming out that Barca are advancing their effort to sign Marcus Rashford. Wages would need to be reduced by up to 40%. Rashford is willing to take a big wage cut. Sancho take notes. With a loan move remaining the desire. But they said they want to do a loan move with potentially an obligation to buy. We'll look at what happened with the loan move obligation to buy with Sancho. He's still got bloody Sancho. But the good thing about this, for me, is Barcelona will say they want to do a loan move for Rashford, but they literally agreed to give Athletic Club the money for Nico Williams. They literally were ready to give Liverpool 50 million for Luis Diaz. So they can't say, oh, we're going to do Rashford on loan when they've literally proven they've got 60 million to spend on a winger and they're not getting their first 2 picks. So I think that they might be forced into buying Rashford. And then last but not least, going back to Sancho, which I meant to add to the second slide, but Juventus apparently now prefer Conceição over Sancho. And can you blame them? Juventus have been working on the Sancho deal for weeks. They've been trying to get Sancho over the line for weeks. And he's still asking ridiculous wages. And they're seeing how much Chelsea offered to him and that he said no to. They're probably seeing the red flags. They're probably seeing the attitude issues and thought, you know what? We don't want to be stuck with this guy. And they've probably gone for Conceição. So we got news this morning that Sancho was close, but I did say take a pinch of salt. And now Juventus potentially looking elsewhere. But I just think maybe Sancho isn't going to go. I'm fed up. Anyway, thank you for watching. Bye.